I don't have slides, but I have some talking points. And thank you so much, Dr. Garg, for just inviting us and being in touch and giving us a platform. And I'm grateful to go after Mr. Bandyopadhyay, because he's very nicely set the platform on green hydrogen. So I am the lead for the International Institute for Sustainable Development's energy program in India. And a lot of our work focuses on tracking public money, because we believe that public money is a great attractor of capital and private capital. So if public money is working on India's energy transition, then private capital will follow soon. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is just tracking the green hydrogen policy that Mr. Bandyopadhyay very kindly explained to us. Just to set the context a little bit, I'm going to go over a few boring facts of the green hydrogen mission, because just help us understand what the policy challenges are a little bit with it and what is the way forward. So today, most of the hydrogen supplied, like Mr. Bandyopadhyay also said, is gray hydrogen that we see, and most of it is in the refinery and the fertilizer industry. It's produced by fossil fuels that we know. But since 2022, the government of India has launched its green hydrogen mission, and we've seen a lot of policy documents recently come out on it. Now, the green hydrogen mission is pretty critical to India's energy security, but two other big factors for it is to increase its energy security and also meet its emissions reduction commitments. What we also see with the green hydrogen mission is that it's going to attract a lot of investments, about like 8 lakh crores in investments. It's going to create a lot of jobs, 6 lakh jobs. But overall, the big mission is by 2030 to produce about 5 million metric tons of hydrogen per annum. Now, roughly, the whole policy has tried to outlay a scheme amount of about a little short of 20,000 crores. And about 22% of this is for manufacturing electrolyzers, and about 66% of it is to then use those electrolyzers and then manufacture green hydrogen. The rest of the smaller project percentage amounts is for smaller pilot projects on mobility, on steel, shipping, and other sort of creating those hydrogen hubs around it. Now, why this is important is because the mission is going to be implemented in 2 phases, and like we heard a little bit earlier, from now to 2026, 2027 is to create the user base for hydrogen in industries where hydrogen is already being used, gray hydrogen in cement and fertilizer refinery, and then commercialize beyond 2027 to 2030, really scaling up the commercialization of green hydrogen. Now, there are 2 challenges with the policy that we see as per a new report that we're going to release in October soon. And the first one is that about the costs of green hydrogen and the incentives under the mission are a slight mismatch. So according to our study and global estimates, the levelized cost of green hydrogen is about from $5 to $7 per kg, while the levelized cost of gray hydrogen is about $1.5 to $3. So there is a green premium on producing green hydrogen, which is in the range of about $3.5 to about $5 per kg. Now, the government, through this green hydrogen mission, is offering an incentive of $0.50, or 0.66 per kg. So there is a gap between what the cost is, the premium is, and what the government is offering as an incentive. But even though there is a difference between how much it is going to cost as a premium green hydrogen and what the government is giving as a subsidy or an incentive, we still see a substantial investment or interest in electrolyzer manufacturing and green hydrogen production. So if we simply analyze all the bids that have successfully been launched and the requests, we see from all the bids, there's a lot of different big, huge companies. We see Reliance, we see JSW, we see small, medium enterprises. They're all investing and moving in and submitting bids for electrolyzer and green hydrogen manufacturing. This is probably because all of these companies are moving towards export markets. So they're targeting the export where the green premium on green hydrogen can be met and it will be cost competitive. The second big challenge around the green hydrogen policy is on incentives and production targets. So if we understand the outlay, right now about 23% of the outlay or the financial incentives for green hydrogen has already been committed, but only for 8% of the production targets. So for the remaining production of green hydrogen, of which is about 5 million tons by 2030, we need 34% of this target can only be met through the current financial outlay. So what does it mean forward in terms of like where should the government move ahead? Now, if we understand sort of the big investments which are required around this green hydrogen mission, which is a lot of capex and investments which have to come in for port manufacturing, for transportation and distribution, like Mr. Bandyopadhyay also explained, it's roughly around the size of about 0.5% of the GDP, which is extraordinarily huge. We're not saying that all of this has to come in from government money. A lot of it still has to, about 1/3 of it still has to come in from government money. So what we really want to see is the government starting to think a little bit beyond 2030, because the green hydrogen mission and production and the whole ecosystem will require investments beyond 2030 as well. The second big thing around here is that another way the government could look at bridging the gap between the costs of grey and green hydrogen is to levy a carbon price on grey hydrogen, because grey hydrogen is currently used in industries which are not very price sensitive and can absorb the extra costs. So really taxing grey hydrogen a little bit more can then produce a lot of revenue that can be invested back into green hydrogen. The second, another policy lever that the government can explore is a GST rate, which is different for green hydrogen versus grey hydrogen. There are others things that the government can move forward in terms of just putting in green hydrogen purchase obligations, really like trying to anchor as much demand as possible. I think those are some levers that I want to sort of leave here a little bit in terms of just what the policy challenges and the way forward is. But again, thank you very much.